Hey YouTubers, installing some Rhino RB20 Slim running boards onto my 2014 Ram 2500, and wasn't going to create a video. I didn't see a whole lot specific to the Rams, let alone the 2500 installation instructions, that is. But it looked pretty universal, so I was just going to follow some of what I saw on YouTube for Toyotas and some others. But ran into some challenges and figured I'd post about it, so anybody that is trying to do a similar installation on a similar vehicle can learn from some of what I did. Let me turn this. What I've done so far is I put the brackets on. Had to learn a little bit of a lesson with the brackets. There's clearly a front, a middle, and a rear. And shame on me, the instructions showed the directions for these, but it didn't help that these were bundled together, the sets of three for the driver's side and passenger side, but they were bundled wrong. So what you see here is the passenger side front, passenger side center, and then rear. But these two center and rears were bundled with the driver's side front. So when I grabbed the one bundle, thinking it was correct for a side, I got a little screwed there. But anyway, I put them on as I did, realized that when I did that, that the fronts would have worked out okay. The middles would have worked out all right as well, but the rear wouldn't have, because the bracket faces the other way. So this bracket comes out to here. With the other ones on, it came out to here, and with the narrowed taper of the Slims, it wouldn't have fit. So that was my first indication when I went to go mock up setting the running board on there that I screwed up. So not that big of a deal. I just had them mocked up, finger tight bolts in there. So I was able to just kind of swap those out, which is where I am now. Let me jump underneath here and I'll show you a couple of other things. So we're looking at the driver's side front right here, and you can see that you have to have the driver's side front because of the body mount. So when I mocked them up and I just set them in there to see which worked, the passenger side has this bar on the other side, and it would hit, sorry, little glitch there. It would have hit that motor, the body mount there, right? So this edge of the bracket would have been on this side and it would have hit. So there's only one way to put those on. You can't screw those up. And then again, showing you the center, you could put on either side there. It's not going to make a difference. But then in the rear, like I was saying, I put on the wrong way. So this arm of the bracket was on this side. And then you can see that this is too narrow in the taper and it wouldn't have fit. So my fault, but Go Rhino certainly didn't make it very easy for me. I just have these mocked up finger tight right now. And one of the reasons I bought the Rhino RB20 and especially in the slim package is because they were high and tight to the body. They didn't stick out far, and they were up against the body line. Let me get back out from underneath the vehicle, and I'll show you my little bit of disappointment. All right, so mind you, I'm up on ramps here, so the vehicle's at a bit of an angle. So this is just first observation, but you can see that there's a pretty big gap between the body panel and the running board. And I didn't want these to look like a drop down running board. I wanted them to be real tight up against there. Again, I just have them mocked up and hand tight, and I think there's a little bit of leeway on what I can do with them. And then again, maybe when I drop it down off of those ramps, it'll change the point of view, the perception. So there's a little bit of adjustability into those brackets. So I'm gonna play with those a little bit. I think I can slide the brackets up on the pinch weld, the pinch seam, a little bit to get them higher. But I'm not a big fan of that, right? Because then gravity is is going to pull it down. So you got to make them super tight. Otherwise, over time, when you step on this, the bracket has a potential to slide down to the stop point of where the actual bolts hold it. So I'm not a big fan of that, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to lift those up as high as I can, see what happens, and then I'm also going to push this as far back as I can, which I think it's about there, just mocked up. But maybe tightening them up a little bit, it's going to pull them all together. I'll let you know here in a few minutes. But I guess my observation here is that these are not custom fit for each vehicle. Interestingly enough, the packaging even says on it universal. So, you know, I think it's really what it is, right? These are universal fit, and for some economies and pricing and whatnot, I can certainly understand having fewer SKUs in stock, but I've just seen Toyota installations that they were much tighter. So not real thrilled about this, but I'll give this a pause. I'll go in there and make some tweaks and adjustments, pull it down off the ramps, and come back and show you guys what it looks like, trying to get it as high and tight against the body as I can. More to come. All right, so I tightened these up best I could. I honestly don't think it made a whole bunch of difference. And still a little bit disappointed, I've got to be honest with you. The other thing that kind of bugs me, but not that big of a deal, is, you know, this universal length, right? So here I'm at the back of the cab, and this sticks out a little bit past that. I don't know, maybe it's beneficial, maybe it's good. You know, with this taper, I can't stand on there. I didn't want a wheel to wheel, just wanted cab length, but this is cab length plus, and you can see where it's lined up front. And you know, with this is as pushed as far forward as it can go. Again, because of the taper on the back of these Slims, you can see that bracket, the internal bracket, is right here, and so it can't go any further forward. You know, with that also, I'm not a super big fan of seeing that bracket because it's so narrow right there. And you can see the middle one a bit as well. Front's a little bit more like I expected, a little bit more tucked underneath there. But anyway, it's still up on the ramps, so I'm gonna drop it down. But just for perspective, from what I showed you earlier, wanted to give you the same point of view here. But we'll see what it looks like when I drop it down. Before I drop it down, I wanted to give you guys another point of view underneath. I did what I said I was going to do. I took these brackets, and there was a little bit of play. I pushed them up as high as I could as I tightened them down. Again, it remains to be seen if this slides down a little bit and exaggerates that gap there. But as I'm climbing around underneath here, you know, I grabbed onto this to scoot out, and I don't know if you guys can catch it on the video, but I mean, just pulling on this thing, there's some play. It kind of bugs me. I'm not even lifting myself off the ground, and you can see the flex right there as I pull in. Maybe if I hold this steady here. I don't know. It's a little sketchy to me. I really want to love Go Rhino. They're US made and cool looking products, but a little worried here. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see what they say, see what they do. If they take care of me, maybe I'll even take this down. I don't know. More to come. All right, pulled it forward off the ramps. I don't know why. I may have been fooling myself that I was hoping it was gonna change the angle, the point of view, and make it look a little bit better, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too thrilled with this. Maybe it's okay for some. I know everybody's got their different opinions and expectations, but you know, to me, that's not anywhere near the body. And then that's kind of about level. You can see a pretty big gap right there. And then I pointed out the flex a little bit. I don't know if I'll be able to catch this, but I'm about 200 pounds. And man, it wiggles. It leans down quite a bit. Maybe that's what you get for all these that fasten to the pinch weld, the body there. I'm used to Jeeps that fasten to the frame and a little bit more sturdy in terms of rock sliders, and wasn't expecting that. But my old junky ones that came with the truck, I don't know what the heck they were, maybe some Mopar tube frames, right, or tube rails rather. They only mounted in 2 points, nothing in the middle, and they were a lot sturdier. They also had this cool little angle bracket that went from the front body mount, where the body mounts to the frame, and then down to the bracket. These are pretty substantial, so maybe that's the difference. I don't know. So I'm onto the passenger side here, and almost have the old running boards tube steps off of this, but figured I'd show everybody these other ones. I mean, there was only 2 mounting points. This is the front one on the passenger side, but you can see all of the gusseting, all the reinforcement, larger hardware. I always thought these were just kind of cheapy garbage things. Didn't really like them, but man, they were super strong in there, and now I see why. And then compare that one to the front bracket on the driver's side that I put in from Go Rhino, and wow, what a difference, right? Not nearly the gusseting, not nearly just the solid strength of it, right? The mass. Anyway, thought I'd show that. Again, there's the middle one on the Go Rhino and the rear. And again, you can see that gap there that just pisses me off. But then this is the rear one on that old, what I thought was cheaper, right? Pretty beefy. I like their design, how they roll around the body panel there. And again, just super strong. These things aren't flexing at all, but quite a difference in quality, I think. While I'm taking off those old brackets, just thought I'd show a quick comparison. Obviously on the left is the new Go Rhino bracketry. On the right is that old Innovation something or other. But you can see quite a difference between these, right? You can obviously see the bolt hardware is much larger on that other one. Even the gauge of metal here, obviously the nuts going to be larger with that larger hardware, but this doesn't worry me too much. You know, it's pinched in there. This one's actually mounted in 3 locations versus the old one in 2 locations, but I don't think this is the cause of the flex issue. I think it's the leverage on those long brackets that Go Rhino uses. I wanted to show this to you guys too. So these are the little channel brackets or whatever they're called that go into the inside of the running boards that mount them to the brackets to kind of pinch them together to hold them in place. And apparently there's 2 different styles. There are these ones that have the nuts that are welded on, and then there are ones that apparently don't have the nuts welded on. And so you get 2 bags of hardware. You get some hardware that just have these kind of tapered bolts, fine threaded, and then you get a complete another bag of hardware with this, right? So, but I got apparently the one that has the nuts welded on, which I was kind of cool about, excited about. But then as I started looking at these, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, there's just a bunch of slag in these holes where they're welded on. So I'm chewing up some of these bolts. I don't know if you can see it. You can see all those threads. Oh, come on, focus. You can see those threads there getting chewed up. So anyway, not the end of the world. I thought I was going to have to chase it with a tap or die, but instead I'm just using one of these bolts, and I'm running it through the back side to clean it up a little bit. and then I'm switching over to the bolts that I'm supposed to use and mounting them the correct way. So just another observation, another tip I want to throw at you guys if you're trying to do this yourself. All right, see you. All right, well, we're done. Both sides are on. Still a little disappointed in the gap right there, but I like the product. I like the shape. Really wish it was just a little tighter. And again, I showed that flex already, and my thoughts are, gosh, if those brackets didn't stick out so far from the body and were a little bit higher, there'd be less leverage on them. They'd actually be sturdier. So a little bit of a disappointment there, but here's the passenger side, as I expected, exactly the same. I'm still kind of holding out hope that maybe they sent me the wrong brackets, because I just can't help but think again that if these brackets weren't as long and didn't drop as much, it accomplished what I was hoping and expecting for, and be a little bit more durable. So we'll see. Still an upgrade from those crappy, ugly things that have been on there for far too long. And overall, I'll live with them. The quality seems good. The finish seems good. The shape, the style, the design seems real good. Might consider putting some spacers between the pinch weld there, the body where they mount, and the bracket themselves. I'd suck it in a little bit more, but we'll see.